Oh my god, I'm honestly on the verge of tears after that. I cannot believe that they've actually won that game. I believe they could. I sat here last weekend and I said we could beat Man City. I sat here yesterday when we did the predictions and I said that we could, but I didn't think there was any realistic chance that we would. But we have, and it comes down to every single player and that manager. If they sack him after that game, it is an absolute disgrace. Look what he can do when he's got a fit team. That was the best lineup we have put out for months. It was by far the best performance we have put out for months. Every single player deserves massive credit, but the manager deserves it more than anyone else. We do not win that game without Erik ten Hag in charge. From the first whistle to the last, the plan was executed to absolute perfection from the outfield players. One mistake from Onana, which we obviously have to get to. But if it wasn't for that one mistake, Man City don't score. I sat here after the Arsenal game saying how impressed I was with the style of play, and if we played like that against Man City, we'd have a chance. It was one mistake against Arsenal from Casemiro not getting outfield. One mistake why we lost that game. Today, it was one mistake why we almost let City back into it. But the game plan was so good. The low block, staying in tight, making sure Rodri didn't see enough of the ball, making sure De Bruyne didn't see enough of the ball, making sure Bernardo Silva didn't see enough of the ball, making sure Phil Foden didn't see enough of the ball. I hope I got them in the right order, but my head's spinning right now because I can't believe we've actually won. But to a man, that defensive performance is absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure the likes of Rodri are going to come out yet again and say, oh, there was only one side who tried to play football. Look at those stats at half time. Man City had one shot in the first half. One. And it was a tame shot from Bernardo Silva at Onana. It was immense. It was immaculate from Manchester United. And then when we got the ball, we looked so dangerous. I don't necessarily think Rashford had the best of games today, but he was stretching Kyle Walker. It's what you've got to do. There's no doubt about it. Kyle Walker won the actual individual battle with Marcus Rashford today. But his running and his effort to get in behind created the openings for Bruno to get on the ball, for McTominay to get on the ball, for Mainu to get on the ball. And then on the other side, Garnacho absolutely had Gvardiol for every single minute he was on the pitch. He tracked back with Gvardiol, he didn't let him do anything going forward, and he kept making that run in behind. If anything, one of our biggest mistakes in the first half is we weren't releasing the ball to Garnacho enough. The amount of times Amrabat and McTominay got the ball on that side of the pitch, and Garnacho went and they didn't find him. But it comes from Dalot eventually. Another incredible performance from Dalot. Up against Bernardo Silva, one of the best players in the world. Someone he knows very well, of course, from the Portuguese national team. But he stuck with him. When Bernardo had the ball, he let him go in on his left foot, knowing he could win the 1v1 on his right foot. Then when he picked that ball up and Garnacho made that run, it's a phenomenal ball from Diogo Dalot. It's exactly where you want to put it. Right in between sweeper, keeper and centre-back, or full-back in this scenario. Don't know what Ortega's doing. Gvardiol certainly doesn't know what Ortega's doing because he heads it back to him and he's not there. But I'll tell you who is there. Alejandro Garnacho, the first teenager to score in an FA Cup final since a certain Cristiano Ronaldo, his absolute idol, for Manchester United in 2004 against Millwall. But don't worry, the next teenager to score in an FA Cup final came just 10 minutes later after, I'm going to say it, Manchester United's goal of the season. 100%. You can take Garnacho's goal as a moment of absolute individual brilliance, but that second goal not only deserves to be our goal of the season because of the actual goal itself, but the overall importance of it as well. Such good play up the field. And then that pass from Bruno Fernandes to Kobbie Mainoo is arguably the assist of the season. Credit to every single one of those players, by the way. In the midfield, getting on the ball, playing it out wide. Garnacho on the ball. Wan-Bissaka stretching the defence, pushing them back, keeping the offside line where it was, allowing the space for the pass into Bruno. And then, like I said, the blind pass. He knew where Mainu was. And at 19 years of age, at Wembley, in the FA Cup final, with the whole world watching and Gareth Southgate watching after his just picture for his Euro squad, for Kobbie Mainoo to just nonchalantly slide that ball past Ortega into the bottom corner. Outrageous from Kobbie Mainoo. after a bit of outrageous play from Bruno Fernandes. And I don't care what anyone says, that is Manchester United's goal of the season. What a goal. 2-0. Second half, I'll admit, it was getting a little bit nervy. It looked like some of our players were a little bit leggy. It looks like we were dropping back into our shape a little bit. And obviously Doku came on, and I think we dropped back because of Doku, because we know how dangerous he is in behind. And I think that's why we dropped back a little bit, which obviously allowed Manchester City to get a little bit more on top. Haaland hit the bar. Walker had a shot that Onana saved well. A couple of other saves that Onana should have made that he did save. And we defended our open play fantastically. Set pieces, we were still a little bit dodgy because of our half-zonal nonsense, but on the main, it was only the short corners that caused us problems, and we still dealt with them fantastically. I now have to talk about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. What an individual performance up against Jeremy Doku. I've sat here a few times and says that Jeremy Doku scares the absolute life out of me. As a defender who likes to back himself in a 1v1 situation, I see Jeremy Doku and I just go, I don't want to look at, I don't even want to go near him. He is danger personified. He's arguably the most dangerous winger in world football right now, arguably other than like Vinicius Jr. Like, you're really top end. It's like Mbappe, Vinicius, and then probably Jeremy Doku, because he's so good one-on-one. And Wan-Bissaka didn't let him pass once. In 45 minutes, he probably ran at Wan-Bissaka about 20 times. He did not get past him once. Unbelievable performance from Wan-Bissaka. The only reason the goal comes is because a good overlapping run meant that Wan-Bissaka got drawn away and he squared up Amrabat, jinked it inside Amrabat, and then the shot, and I said we'd get to it, Onana has to save. And it's the one dampener on what could have been the absolute perfect Manchester United performance. But Onana has to save it. Thankfully, he's got away with it because we've ended up winning the game, and that's where I now need to talk about the substitutes as well. Substitutes came on, made a difference. Most notably, of course, Rasmus Højlund. What a shift he put in after coming on. He did not stop running. Manuel Akanji, I almost put in my Premier League team of the season last week, and he ran him ragged. Absolutely ran him ragged. Out-muscled him, outpaced him, dragged Manchester United upfield, and it was him in the final minute of the match with Manchester City piling the pressure on that got the ball, drove past Alvarez, kept pushing. For some reason, we chucked 5 players forward because everyone wanted a glorified winner. Thankfully, we got away with that as well because Rasmus won the free kick. And it was that drive forward that got us over the line. So fair play to every single one of those players. Obviously, like I say, other subs. Johnny Evans coming on for Martinez. Unbelievable performance from both of those. This is what I said at the start. Look what Erik ten Hag can do with a fit squad. Varane and Martinez, for the first time since August. And they didn't score while those two were on the pitch. Martinez, immense. Evans coming on for him, didn't put a foot wrong. Raphael Varane, unbelievable. I don't know what the situation is. He's declared that he's leaving. We need to do everything in our power to keep Varane. He is so important. Yes, he has missed a lot of games due to injuries, but he's worth it. He's that good a centre-back. We're going to have to spend 40, 50 million to get a centre-back anywhere even close as good as Raphael Varane. And I really think we should try and keep him rather than spending that money elsewhere. But obviously that's a story for another day. But Manchester United win the FA Cup. Erik ten Hag has to keep his job. He absolutely has to keep his job. Look what he can do with a team that can actually perform at the level he expects when he's got them fit and when he's got them well drilled. It's so obvious that we are a good team when we've got everyone available to us. Look at the bench. Like I said, we've been putting kids on the last few weeks. Today, we had Today, we had Mason Mount on the bench. We had Anthony on the bench. We had Højlund on the bench. Like Christian Eriksen on the bench. We had quality players on the bench that we could bring on. We didn't need to bring them all on, but we brought some of them on. There is a squad there that can be worked with. Yes, some of the dead weight needs to be moved on, but it needs to be the right dead weight. And you need to back Ten Hag because he is building something at this football club. I am absolutely, positively certain that he is building towards something at this football club. And they need to back him. They need to keep him. Manchester United win the FA Cup. Let me know your thoughts on the game and Erik ten Hag's future down in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching once again. I'll be back with several other videos over the course of the next few weeks. I've got to do my Premier League table review. The most important video for me, my Manchester United stay or go video, which is obviously going to be off the back of today's performance as well as anything else. So we're going to do that next week, while I'll assess which players need to be kept, need to be sold, in my opinion, and of course, my final opinions on the manager. After what has been a very difficult season for Manchester United, ends with Manchester United winning a trophy for the second season in a row. And just to rub it in, one last final piece. Bye-bye Rodri's unbeaten record. He's lost in 90 minutes. And guess who was on the pitch again? Scott McTominay. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon.